Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Kindred Souls of Brooklyn. And we've all been to Walt Disney World, and we all have heard going on the Haunted Mansion, and a ghost will follow you home. But what if I told you that before you even got to Disney, there might be a ghost following you, or talking to you? Well, it seems that the most haunted and spirited and active highway in the entire world is not somewhere near Area 51. It's not somewhere in the far mountains of Montana or something like that. It's actually on the stretch of I-4, which people call the dead zone of I-4, which I've driven over multiple times, and I'm sure you have too. So we have a long history about this. I'm going to add a news segment at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that so you can actually see the exact place. But Kerry wants to say something about this issue because we've been over that bridge lots of times. It's on the St. John's Bridge, right past the Orlando Airport on the border of Volusia County and Seminole County. So stay tuned.
Hi everyone. Did you know there were ghosts in Florida? That's what people say. I don't know. But there were 4 German people who had yellow fever. They died. So their graves are here. I-4 is here. So their graves are under I-4. So I don't know if they're really ghosts or not. I don't believe in ghosts. But this is what a lot of people say because there have been a lot of accidents. I think if it is real, that these German people underneath I-4 don't want like anybody bothering them, or don't want the cars going over like 600 million times. I don't know, but that's what they say. So I don't know. People have seen spirits at night and hitchhikers at night and people walking around, and then when they look again, they're not there. I don't know. They say it's haunted, but come to Florida and see for yourself. All right, see you guys later.
So what about, no, but before you go, what about the fact that there's been more accidents on that quarter mile of I-4? It's 160 miles I-4. This whole thing started in 1959 when I-4 was built, and they just plowed over their graves. The day that the graves were supposed to be moved, Hurricane Donna came through, and the graves were never moved. And then supposedly a construction guy was like, well, the graves are so old, just leave them. But there's been more accidents. I think they're up to over 3,000 accidents.
Yeah, there's a lot.
On that stretch of that quarter mile stretch. And nowhere else in I-4 is anywhere close. I mean, you're talking maybe a few accidents here and there, but over 3,000 accidents and about like 109 deaths or something like that so far.
Yeah, there's been a lot. My theory, I don't know if I'm right, I think if there is people in these graves, they don't want to be disturbed. They don't want the cars going over and the people going over. Maybe they just want to be left alone. I don't know. I don't know much about it. But that's my theory, so we'll see.
And the real part of it is that they actually, the bridge is built on both sides, but apparently the graves are under, I-4 runs, it's technically a north-south highway, but they say east-west. I don't know why they ever did it that way or labeled it that way, but when you come to Florida, you're actually driving west toward Disney. It's actually on the eastern side, so it would be, if you ever drove to Florida, it would be basically when you were going home. But it's still, apparently on both sides, you still get the same situation. So I'm going to put a news story on right now. See what you think. And
Okay, people, stay tuned. There's more video coming, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye now.
And a ghost will follow you home.
That's right.
Only on 6, traffic deaths and ghostly images, all connected to a stretch of one of the most traveled roads in Central Florida. Since 1963, nearly 2,000 accidents have been reported there. Locals call it the I-4 dead zone. Problem solver Mike Holfeld is investigating this exclusive.
This photograph is one thread in a legacy of hundreds of highway deaths and ghostly apparitions linked to a small stretch of I-4 known as the dead zone.
Many people drive it over and over again, and they have no idea what they're driving over.
Susan Christensen is a medium looking for the truth. She says she feels an unhappiness here, a presence she calls a family of 4.
Twice I've seen 4 orbs cross I-4. They're earthbound, and they feel that their lives were taken away from them.
People are claiming to see all kinds of things. Orbs floating across the highway, apparitions on the side of the highway hitchhiking, phantom trucks, you name it.
But legends aside, the fact is, there are graves there.
There's graves there. There's dead people beneath Interstate 4.
Halfway between Daytona and Orlando is the quarter mile of interstate that cradles the forgotten graves of 4 German immigrants. Charlie Carlson, author of the popular book Weird Florida, had special access to that infamous burial plot It sat right next to his grandparents' home.
I remember seeing those graves as a kid, and we were warned not to mess with the graves.
The graves date back to the 1880s and a settlement called St. Joseph's Catholic Colony. One of the German settlers, a family of 4, fell victim to a yellow fever epidemic. 2 adults, 2 children, buried on the very spot that has been shrouded in mystery.
So I'm looking at this construction and you can't help but wonder, are they still there?
Yes, they are still there. In fact, when Interstate 4 came through in 1960, the graves were roped off and marked for removal. But they never removed the graves. Instead, they dumped fill dirt on top to elevate the new highway.
But is there really a connection to I-4 and this dead zone legacy? A check run in 1996 suggested roughly 2,000 accidents and injuries along the dead zone. The Florida Highway Patrol is working with Local 6 to develop new information right now. But Charlie Carlson says the facts he has so far are intriguing.
There was more accidents per year in this section, small quarter-mile section of highway, than in all the other sections of highway between Daytona and Tampa.
They passed away.
Sanford historian Christine Best says she deals with fact, but admits you can't help wonder.
Hearing so many of the stories from other people certainly make you stop and think about it.
Reasonable people would put the dead zone accidents in the column of pure coincidence. But the stories continue to add to this legend. Legend aside, there is one undisputed fact. The graves remain under the I-4 dead zone.
So I guess the lesson, folks, is next time you come down to Disney or to Universal or SeaWorld, you want to make sure at that strip of highway, be very, very careful. You never should be texting or doing things you shouldn't be doing. But at that particular point, I mean, just make sure you're being extra careful. So I love you guys. I'd like to see everybody down in Florida having a good time. And hopefully whatever's there, if it's anything, will subside. Maybe somebody should go over there with holy water or something like that. Say a rosary when they pass it. I don't know. Maybe it'll, if there is something, it'll free them. So love you guys. Please subscribe. Till the next video, this is Al signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.